My friends, my countrymen, my fellow Englishmen and women who still carry this island in your bones and in your blood, Europeans. An illegal Somali immigrant tried to cut the head from an English gentleman. He cut right through the head. Let that sentence sit in your stomach for a moment. A man, an Englishman, in Britain, and a man who had no right to be there, took a blade and tried to sever his head from his body. This is not a nightmare from another continent. This is the reality that has been creeping into your streets, your towns, your cities, while the people who are paid to protect us have spent years telling us that noticing it makes us the problem. These things are happening with a regularity that should shame every one of us into action. Knife attacks, random violence, and alongside them, the industrial-scale rape of our girls and young women by organized groups of men who see them as fair game. In Rotherham, in Rochdale, in Telford, in Oxford, to Nowak, in so many places we now know the names of because the truth finally leaked out despite every effort to bury it. Thousands of English girls, some barely 11 years old, plied with drugs, passed around like objects, threatened with death and the rape of their sisters if they spoke. And the authorities knew. For years they knew. And they did nothing because they were more afraid of being called racist than they were of failing to protect English children. That is the measure of what has been done to us. We have been told for decades that we must be tolerant, that we must open our doors and our hearts and our wallets without limit or question, that our history is a source of shame rather than a source of strength, that our flag, the flag of St. George, the flag that flew when this nation stood against tyranny, is somehow hateful when ordinary English people dare to fly it with pride. They have taken our right to speak without fear of the police. They have taken our right to walk our own streets without looking over our shoulder. They have taken our right to put our own children first without being smeared as bigots. And now they have taken even the most basic expectation that a father should be able to raise his son without the fear that some stranger from a failed society will try to cut his head off on British soil. How did we reach this point? We reached it because the people who govern us stopped believing that Britain belongs to the British. They decided that our country was a hotel with an infinite number of rooms and no right to turn anyone away. They decided that the feelings of newcomers mattered more than the safety and cohesion of the people who built this nation over centuries. They decided that enforcing our borders and our laws was somehow immoral. While the consequences of that decision, the blood on our pavements, the destroyed lives of our daughters, were a price worth paying for their own sense of moral superiority. And you, the English citizen, have endured it. You have been patient. You have been decent. You have absorbed the insults, the lies, the gaslighting. You have watched your towns change beyond recognition. You have listened to your daughters tell us they no longer feel safe. You have seen young men stabbed for no reason other than being in the wrong place at the wrong time in a country that no longer seems to belong to them. And through it all, we were told to be quiet, to be kind, to understand. I am done understanding. I am done being patient while children are butchered and girls are raped, and the flag of your ancestors is treated as a provocation. The wound is not only physical,
It's going to be all right,
it is in the
my
gut.
love.
It is in the soul.
I was so scared, Mum.
It is the deep,
I know,
sickening knowledge
but I'm
that the
here
country
now.
your fathers fought for, worked for, and died for is being
going to
handed
be
over
all right,
piece
my
by
love.
piece, while you are
was so
instructed to
scared,
smile
Mum.
and call it progress.
I know, but I'm here
Every
now.
father who looks at his son feels it. Every mother who kisses her
going to be
daughter
all
goodbye
right,
in the
my
morning
love.
feels it.
I was so
Every man and
scared,
woman
Mum.
who still loves this country
I
in their
know,
bones
but I'm
feels
here
it as a
now.
constant, low-grade fever that never breaks.
It's
We were not asked. We were not consulted. We were simply told that this is who we are now, and that if we do not like it, we can leave or we can shut up. Well, I will not shut up, and I will take the risk to be banned. And I believe millions of others will not shut up either. I am not speaking from hatred. I am speaking from the most basic instinct any healthy people possesses, the instinct to protect your own, to defend your children, to preserve the inheritance you were given so that you can pass it on intact to those who come after you. That is not extremism. That is the normal condition of every nation on earth that has not lost its will to live. The solution is not chaos. The solution is not to become what we despise. The solution is to remember that we are still a sovereign people with the right to demand that our government serves us first. We must have an immediate and total halt to illegal immigration. The boats must be stopped. The hotels must be emptied of those who entered unlawfully. Foreign criminals must be deported the moment their sentences are served, with no endless appeals at the expense of the British taxpayer. The grooming gang scandals must be reopened with no more sacred cows and no more fear of naming the cultural and religious patterns that allowed them to flourish. The police must return to equal enforcement of the law without regard to political fashion. And the English people must be free once again to fly their own flag, to speak their own mind, and to say without apology that this is our home and we intend to keep it. This will not be easy. The institutions that have failed us will not surrender their power without a fight. The media that has gaslit us for years will call us every name they can invent. But names lose their power when enough people stop being afraid of them. We have been a patient people. We have been a tolerant people. But tolerance is not a suicide pact, and patience has a limit. We have reached that limit. The English gentleman whose head was nearly cut from his body that day is not an isolated tragedy. He is a warning. He is what happens when a nation forgets that its first duty is to its own. We will not forget again. I have had enough. You have had enough. From this day, we say it plainly, we say it loudly, and we say it without apology. Enough. We will not surrender our children. We will not surrender our streets. We will not surrender our rights to be English and/or European citizens. England is your country, and you have to taking it back lawfully, peacefully, and without hesitation.